Welcome back again, everybody. This is Ultra Magnus, your host. I'm streaming live or recording, however you want to call it. But I'm basically going to go through everything that's gone so far this season and also some new features that are going to be a part of the Google Sheet and a potential refresh to the Google Sheet. So this one might be going away and a new one being brought in its place so that I just clean everything up and everything's a little bit more accessible and a little bit more formatted for myself so that I can make things a lot easier uploading the states. But with a little touch, we'll add some of this, my new theme song, I think it is. I think Segathon has mentioned it, and we'll have this playing in the background. There's only you in my life. Just keep that playing in the background. So what's going on so far this season? We're about 107 games in with everybody combined. So it's pretty cool that everyone's starting to play their games. I think there's only 3 teams right now that haven't played any games, or maybe 4. I'm not 100% sure. But everything remains the same on the bottom. We have a new dashboard. This will allow you to access everything for your team from any given season, from any given time in the season, whether it's playoffs or season, and also your player cards. I might be refreshing this a little bit more so they can get more details in there, but I would like the screen to be basically filling in this whole area. So if I want to choose a team, drop down arrow, I want to look at the Minnesota Mullets, everything will get refreshed with the Mullets information in here. There's a lot of things going on, but you can see here his stats, his players, his team stats down here along the bottom, his fast facts about his team. So whether he's won a Bruley Cup, his all-time record, his playoff record, his overall. So we can even change his overall so you can see what his overall is this season. He's a 74. Let's change it to 95. He's a 70. You can go to the playoffs. You can see all this here. And you can even see here at 95, we're going to have league ranks. So this will allow you to know where your ranking is in the whole league with every other team in the league. And the player card works the exact same way. Nothing's changed. You'll have just the player's ratings from season to season and also his player stats here in the middle. So everything's going to be concise all in one area instead of having 4 or 5 different tabs. The standings, everything we're going to see here, I'm going to do a little recap of every team quickly, nothing in depth, but here's the standings, here's the schedule. So if you're wondering who you have left to play, you'll also have the coach next to it and you can scroll through. Most of it's alphabetical. And the road teams, the home teams are mixed up, but the road teams are based on alphabetical order. Some of them might be mixed up because there's teams that came in, teams that changed their names. So far in our new Maroon Van division, we have Adolf with the Pit Intramurals. Stellar thing what happens when you actually have good players on your team compared to bottom feeders, which he had last year. And he traded away a fan favorite in Robert the Cron Terminator to the Charleston Chiefs. Could be a good move. It could be a bad move. We can see how it is at the end of the year and how Nipples is going to be affected by that move. Then we have Sunnyvale with McLean coming in second with 33 points. His team is back to its old tricks. Joe Sakic leading the way with Zella Pukin. Then you have Taipei Typhoons with Nathan B. MB, 14 points, 6-4-2, 6-4-0-2. A little bit of a mystery man. We're going to see a little bit more when he gets up into some tougher competitions. But so far, so good. Halifax, 2-6-0-2. He started the season 0-6, so he hasn't lost in 4 games. He's on a run. Even though he's lost in overtime, it doesn't matter. Still get those points. They all count. Gambini, 0-6. Nothing going really good so far. A couple blowouts as well. And then Sumter Trash. Pink is back. He'll get his games in. He's a busy man, so I'm not going to hold it against him. Then leading the pack of the whole league is my team, the Orlando Cyclones. However, I've also played the most games, so that gives me that right over myself. Autobahn, 4-2-1-1, 10 points. Dinkelberg, the myth, the man, the legend. Everybody wants to find out more about Dinkelberg. I found out a little bit more, but that's going to be held close to my chest. 1-10-1-2. He's had some major blowouts, 10-1, 10-0. And then he's had games where he's beaten people. And it's odd. He's very, very on the extremes of the spectrum. But Patrick Roy is either lights out or he's knocked out, one or the other. Troy Hill, the most vocal member in all of Discord, 2-3-0-1. Early signs of maybe some of the trades that he made are going to backfire, but who knows? Big chubby Keith Kachuk might be a bad mistake. Who knows? Mike Vick EBC 1-1. I think he's 1-1. No, he's 2-1-0-1 after his games with Highland Wolf. After that, I just got the states. I haven't seen who like the scores or anything, but that's pretty much what his record is. Troy City with Aftershock. Everybody back the fuck off. The guy works 95, 90 hours a week. He's in construction. He's a general laborer. He works harder than all of us put together. Give the guy a break. Let him play his games when his season's over with his construction, and then he goes into full-on chaos mode, calling everyone a son of a bitch online. So then we move into our Patrick Swayze division, which I think Segathon was quite happy that he was actually put into this division, as well as fellow other Minnesotian with Gaelic Gopher. But Thunder Bay, Sean Bell, the expansion team, is raising some thunder in Thunder Bay. Out fishing, potentially. He's not catching any pike. He's catching some whales. 15-3-0-2. Really doing well. Good goal differential of plus 38. Renfrew Creamery Kings. Ed Belfort, back to his old tricks of shutting everybody out. And the games that he does lose are head scratchers. I really don't know if it's a lack of focus. The team has got their thumb up their ass. I don't know. But then there's games where he just completely locks everybody down. He's got his own theme song of Endless Love in the background while he's playing those lockdown games. Highland Wolf, slow and steady wins the race. The man continues to win games. I've played him. I beat him in both games, but I think his style of play is changing slowly, is starting to evolve. The Minnesota Mullets, 2-0-1-1. Very, very odd man. When you have goats, toes in photos, and you're a part of the Maroon Van Clan in Mini, you got some things to think about. But the one thing he doesn't have to think about is the only guy in the league who actually splits time with both goalies, running the Las Vegas Knights last season, how they were playing both goalies all the time. He does the same, and it works well for him. The Gaelic Gopher was on the verge of going into complete meltdown. He actually pumped the brakes and put himself into a good roll the last couple of games. He's 1-8-1-2. It looks bad. It's not as bad as it looks. His games that he has lost, close games. They're not extreme blowouts. He's not a Dinkelberg in this instance. And I don't even know if this guy's real. Einstein, I gave him a carte blanche for season 1 because he was dealing with a Mac. Now he's with the Philly boys, so I don't know what's going on. So you basically got Highland Wolf who could do everything, got McLean who could play but not do anything else, and then Einstein who does nothing. I'm really, really, really curious to see this guy's skill level, and I want him to play. I want to see what could be happening. He's got a good team, so I'm curious. I'm really curious. I'm scratching my head. Then we get into probably the most competitive division. I don't know why, but I think just the fact that there's the 2 conference champions in there. We have 3 expansion teams, which we have no idea about them. And then we have the Cinderella story in Pensacola with D-Lock. And then you got Sammy Smith, the streaming master. So, and he brings every video, every game is there. So, the Surrey Hack HC with Elias. His games, even though his record's 3-10-0-1, he's a very good player. I think he's used more to the 94 setup, and he maybe was a little bit shocked that he actually gets overtime losses. So his style of play is different. His goal differential is off. But when you're changing over to a league that you're not used to your team, you're kind of left with, you're not into the realm of pit with like a bunch of degents. But maybe add Tony Twist to the pack, and maybe it might turn things around. Don't want to go in the corner against him or Ty Domi or anything like that. Then we have the reigning Bruley Cup champ, King Raph, 3-1. 2 of my games were losses to him. One was in overtime and one was regulation, but it was both 1-goal games. Grand Huron with Sean Collins. He is going to be a very tough competitor. He gets a little bit more speed and a little bit more used to the league. He's going to start locking people down. His team is very balanced. His goal differentials, there was only 2 games I think 2 of his 6 that were a little lopsided, but the other ones were really well done, and he's picked up an overtime loss as well. The Richfield Oracles, you get to the conference finals, maybe you got a little bit of Las Vegas hangover. Who knows? But 2-3, he's sticking with Mario Lemieux. He's got, who else does he have on his team? He's got Vinny Danfus. His defense is still there intact. His goaltending is still intact. So maybe just some tweaks he's got to do and maybe mix up the lineup a bit and get things back online. G-Lock. He beat me in overtime, so I at least got the overtime point. I don't care. But is this the G-Lock turning point? Who knows? We're going to start calling it that, the G-Lock turning point. When he goes on a run and starts winning everything and anything. And then Sammy Smith, 0-2. He started against McLean. Only a 2-goal differential. Both games, I think, were 3-2 and 2-1, I think were the scores. And he'll come out of the gates and he's gonna set the tone a little bit more. He's got the Chroninator on his team, and he's got Pierre Turgeon, and he's got Roenick. And other than that, you don't really need much more. Who cares about your goaltending when you got star power like that? And then you got North Bay Knights with the Unholy Grail, probably the biggest question mark in this league. Ran his own league before, I believe. Maybe not online, maybe more of a group setting, but once he gets rolling for his online, I'm really tempted to be the first person to play him to find out so that I can hold stories for everybody else. But who knows? We'll wait for that for another day. Then we got actually a playoff picture now. So this will allow you to know where you stand in the playoffs moving forward. So red line, you're below it, you're out. Above it, you stay in. There's no demoting or regulating now, so if you're the bottom in this Prince of Wales conference, you're not falling down to the Clarence Campbell. You stay in your divisions, you stay in your conference, that's it. We got to have some kind of solidification of the standings, the divisions, and build some rivalries. I already know I got one. I think my rivalry is going to be with Nipples, but I really do think my biggest rival is going to be Mike Vicky BC. You sweep me in the first round. You play me hard in my 2 games. I want blood. So we're going to play for it. So basically right now it's showing you who's in the playoffs and who's out. And then also down here at the bottom, I think there's just an error with the formula. I'll fix it. It's a pretty quick fix. It's maybe something just to do with the spelling of the name. I maybe put a space somewhere where I shouldn't have. Leaderboards. Updated. Everything is fixed. Everything's running smoothly. No issues with it. Same thing with the team rankings. The teams with 0s that are at the top of some of these categories, those are teams that just haven't played yet. So once they get played, they'll fall back into the line wherever their ratings will be, and you go from there. So right now, the only teams when I'm looking at it based on the records and some of these stats so far, obviously my goals are quite high, but it's when you look at how many goals to how many games. And one of the guys who's scoring pretty good at a pretty good click right now, I would say Highland Wolf. I think he's played 12 games and he's already put in 54 goals. So that's a very good point differential. Goals per game. You can see who's potting them in, Mike Vick, but you've only played 2 games. McLean, always a top goal scorer, and then we got our expansion team Thunder Bay. Penalty kill, Pensacola, 1-9, perfect penalty kill. Can't fault that. Same thing with Gambini, 92.3 penalty kill. Amazing. And then you got another few guys where you see where they've played a lot more games and their power plays clicking is Sunnyvale, who's clicking at a 32 click. Hits. Everyone's hitting. So it's going to be interesting. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a glitch. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just cursed. I am the most penalized team in the league, and I don't think anyone's going to come close to me because it seems like every game I'm getting 5 or 6. At this pace right now, I think I'm getting about 4 a game. Pretty close to me. Maybe not 4 a game. Maybe 2.5 to 3. Then same thing with the players. So if you see an asterisk next to the players, those are our rookies. It's the same thing with goaltending. You got Jim Carey. He's right now. We're gonna find out what's happening. I've announced to myself, and I'm announcing to you right now. The Chet Stedman Award is going to be for Rookie of the Year. So any rookies going forward now, so next season, whoever's the rookies class and you get drafted, you're going to be considered a rookie. Play it up there. But basically right now, it looks like if I'm looking at basically who might be a front runner, Pitt's gonna basically probably win it because I think he's got 3 rookies on his team. Um, but you got Peter Forsberg, he's got 49 points. Rolston's doing good, he's only a complimentary player. Zelopuk back with the assists. But going back to the rookies right now, Jim Carey might be a front runner. He's got 5 shutouts, 16 wins. He's got a 1.92 goals against average. I don't know what the save percentage is. Some of these goalies, I'm going to have to figure out a formula to be able to get rid of all the zeros. But it's looking really good there. Power polls. This will be updated weekly. That's it. I'm not doing any more. Troy Hill, you're still ahead of Highland Wolf. Likely after these ratings, you're not going to be because you are 2-3-0-1. He's 10-5. No blowouts on his part. No, I don't think any in yours, but you've played less games and you have a losing record. League players. I've gotten rid of forward, defenses, and goalies, so all players are here. I filtered it based on your team. So basically, your team is going to be at the top. You're going to see all your 5 players. I might figure out this in a way to be able to maybe project everybody's team's breakdown from right here in a way instead of having to look through it all and find out like, hey, where the hell's my team? Where the hell do I go and look at what their ratings are? How are they projecting? What's my team going to look like in 3 years from now? Everything's going to be here. It's going to be filtered based on your team. So you can scroll down and be like, hey, Noah, Halifax, what does your team look like? Oh, wow, you got Fedorov and Oates. They're going to be really, like right now, Oates is going to be a 91 next season. What's Fedorov going to be? Okay, Steve Larmer's retiring. I got to find a replacement for Steve Larmer. Okay, what's my defense looking at? Oh, Chris Pronger, he's going to be involved next season. So you can get a better idea of what you're going to be doing. Free agents, same setup. So you basically got your league players and your free agents. Teams, this is going to be incorporated with our dashboard. So this is all going to probably disappear. I think the schedule thing is pretty self-explanatory in the standings, so you can go and find out who you were playing. And over here, this is what it'll be. If I can find a way to be able to put the schedule dynamically in here, I'll do it. Then box score. Everybody, if you have any complaints or you love the way the box score is, let me know. This is staying, this is not going. You can go here, you click on it, you type in your abbreviation. So if it's the Highland Wolf, you'll see all your games. So you can go back and it says 96 because that's the season we're in. Maybe the thing I might do, I don't think I can get 95 in there unless I go back and do every single box score and put all the data in it. And I'm just saying right now, fuck that. But that's what you could do. If you click in it, see now everything disappears because you left it like that. So at least go into it, choose one of the box scores, and leave it like that. So the next person can go in and know that there's nothing wrong with it. Player stats, this is just some background stuff, and that's it. So I'm going to start maybe revamping this like I had mentioned. If there is anything, please let me know because this is the season where I'm making the most dramatic changes to the ROM as well as our Google Sheets. So put your requests in now. I'm your wholesaler Magnus. And once again, guys, play your games. Change the save state compression or you're going to get it coming. I'll put up the clown every single time somebody doesn't do it. But until then, I'll see you guys next week and get your game on.